me, this is a completely new experience. Just being out, filtering your own water, packing up your tent.
I'm comfortable in the outdoors, but I have never put on a pack that has everything that needs to sustain me for 4 days and just traveled out into the trees and the mountains.
I'm at a critical point in my career where I really need to ensure that I've got good leadership skills as we continue to grow an organization. And what better way to do it than with a team that I'm getting to know in a beautiful place like Colorado.
We're in Ouray, Colorado in the San Juan Mountains. It's summer, even though we're not dressed like it is, but it's about 10,000 feet elevation, beautiful aspen forest. And we're out here with 6 executives from corporate America and 6 military veterans who are in various stages of transitioning to the business world. The executives are out here to do a digital detox, and the veterans are out here to learn a new vocabulary. So did everybody get to meet everybody? One thing I thought about this morning was we've all got something we're trying to accomplish and we're trying to get from one point to another, whether we're in the business world or we're veterans. It's your personal responsibility to assume ownership for learning out here. We're creating an environment and we're going to do the best we can, but it's ultimately your responsibility to take from this what you want to take from this. All of us are going to be at different levels of fitness, different weights in our pack, different altitude acclimatization. And so as a leader, it's really important that you're thinking about how people feel. Push yourself, but also be mindful. Am I hyperventilating? Am I getting dehydrated? Do I have a headache? Any of those kind of things.
I've never done rock climbing before other than rappelling, so that was fun, and it was a really good icebreaker to get everyone to talk to each other and cheer each other on and use teamwork because you have 2 people, 1 climber, 1 person belaying to make sure that the other person doesn't fall. So that was a really good team building exercise that we started with.
There's no one out here who is playing as an individual. Everybody realizes this is a team sport and we're all out here to support one another and try and not only take away for whatever brought us here, but also give to others.
There's a lot of us here, and the biggest concern I had was just leaving someone behind. I felt like pace is something that's really hard to gauge because we're all different abilities. There's a lot of analogies I draw to the corporate life. Pace is a really hard thing to figure out. And I think we kind of figured out the order and kind of what we were doing and, working together. And I think the tone, I felt like everyone was really positive today, and we really appreciate that.
I think everybody did really well, and we worked as a team, and we got to hear, which is beautiful. So, fantastic.
A little different from yesterday. The route is obviously a lot steeper. It's 1,800 feet of elevation gain over 1.8 miles. It's freaking beautiful, and we're about to climb an amazing mountain. Hope everyone's excited. Yeah, man.
When I was in the military a long time ago, one of the things that I realized is when people were cold, wet, and tired, it revealed character. And I always thought, wouldn't it be interesting, rather than talk about leadership in a sterile boardroom or a corporate training classroom, is to get people out in an environment where they're uncomfortable.
We left bright and early at 7 this morning. Everyone kind of started out with a really fast pace, and the pace was a little bit too fast for me. Hiking up a steep climb and going really fast at first, I had an extremely difficult time breathing and really had to take a minute to stop. All I was thinking in the moment was, I just want to go back down to my tent and just go home. I just wanted to go home. Fortunately, the team kind of came together, rallied around me, give me tips on here's a better way to control your breathing, here's a better way to walk up the steep ascent, and that really helped me get all the way to the top, and I'm glad that I stuck with it and made it up to the summit.
The analogy between your physical challenges and your business challenges has been really interesting. I'm at a point of inflection in our business. I need to figure out where the next 10 years are going to take us. One of the things I learned from the military side of things is their really precision focus on breaking every task down. So just not looking at how do we grow, we need to do A and B. There's a whole A to Z.
All right, you did it. You guys should feel really good. And we did it together as a team.
How's everyone feeling thus far? Good morning, great sleep, lots of rain. It's gonna be another great day. It looks pretty gorgeous out this morning. This is our last big push, big day. Really strive to have some intent today. Some intention, whether it's some of the goals you sought out to have during the beginning of the trip, or some folks that you've learned more about that you really wanna connect with more. This is definitely the day to do that.
Yesterday's hike was more challenging than I think a lot of us were prepared for, but we came together and we decided to take a less strenuous path moving forward.
It was good to see the adaptability of the group. I think we really found a good kind of compromise situation that worked for everybody. It still was definitely challenging, but within kind of our personal limits and didn't stretch anybody too far.
I'd like for you, especially the veterans and those that aren't out yet, to make sure that you're really curious and ask the questions that you know you need to ask. Just be really curious about things today and learn from others.
A lot of my questions, a lot of my concern at the moment is how do you define a successful transition? How do you define and reevaluate your own values? And so most of my takeaway was along those lines. And really, as I interacted with the business folks, it reinforced, hey, it's, be curious, be honest.
Does anybody want to share a little bit about something they learned from someone else today?
The grade was a lot easier, so I was able to have a lot more conversation. I wasn't, like sucking wind as much as yesterday. So there was some really cool thought, advice, and there's a few things that I'm going to take away. I'm going to implement as soon as I get back home.
We really coalesced as a group, and it's kind of a bummer that it's coming to a close, but got one more night, hopefully get a fire going and solidify some bonds tonight.
What was really compelling to see was how this group came together to support one another. What we were really seeing in the big picture was, this environment contributing to a group of individuals operating as a team.
You guys are non-judgmental, and you've been non-judgmental all the way through. So just to ream things off the top of my head, I'm really just talking things out, and getting little bits of feedback from you guys has been really helpful for me.
Thank you for the humility, your complete humble approach at meeting all of these strangers. Every time we had a conversation and it came to an end, I was like, man, I need to get another question because I'm super curious what Jason thinks about this. And so thanks for the time. It meant a lot.
Probably the most special thing about the experience is the people that you're around. Because when we're out here, nobody has anything to prove, protect, or promote. What I think we are able to do out here is create an environment where we can see the best in people. And I think the lesson to take back for leaders is, what can you do to shape an environment where you're going to see the best in human behavior? In the big scheme of things, we're slowing down to speed up. And in the business world, they think humans are capable of continuous acceleration, and we are not. We have to recharge and refocus.
We get so caught up in the tactical ways that we move forward as an organization on a day-to-day basis. All the different perspectives and just having these different conversations, it was amazing. It was enlightening. You learned a ton about everybody, about the people. And you have so many takeaways. The hardest part is really going to be distilling down, now what? How do you move forward, right? What are the tactical things, the strategic things that I can take back from those conversations?
I knew it was going to be an extraordinary group. I knew that we were going to have, great conversations, some difficult conversations, but this was amazing. It was a really good opportunity. I'm so glad I took it.
It's really powerful to just truly be out in nature and able to be contemplative and reflective. I love just being in this setting and soaking it all in.
It's one of those things where you will come out of it on the other side a better person and with more skills to lead in the future.
What we saw out here was people really truly connecting with one another, being curious and being in the moment and present. And it's just for me a reminder that when we step away from that digital interface, that really opens the door to being present, really understanding the people around you and building the kind of relationships that can start to really impact and influence one another.